Brain fog and anxiety. When you wake up in the morning and you find that there is a fog outside, what does that look like? That's exactly what I used to experience when I was struggling with anxiety. I had a mental fog. I couldn't think clearly. I couldn't have a conversation because I used to forget what I'm supposed to say mid-sentence. I couldn't focus. I couldn't concentrate. My brain had lost the mental clarity. And this is a very common symptom for anxiety sufferers. By the time you're watching this video, I know this is something that you struggle with. It is very common when you're in the fight or flight mode. The state that you're in is called the fight or flight. It is very common for someone who is in the fight or flight mode to experience symptoms of brain fog. You can't concentrate. Making decisions is a problem. You can't think clearly. You can't hold a conversation. You forget things. Like, personally, I have a clear memory and good storage for information, but when I was struggling with anxiety, there was a time I couldn't even remember my man's face. I couldn't remember my dad's face. And brain fog, if you watched my first video, I said that brain fog was one of those symptoms that made me realize that I need help. I was in school at that time and my performance really dropped. I'm an average student. Like in school, I was an average student. But at this time, my name was appearing at the bottom of the performance list. I'm trying to get what the teacher is saying. I'm trying to focus. I couldn't even read a book. Like, reading a book was a struggle for me. That's the symptom that made me realize that I needed help. And in this video, I want to explain to you how brain fog comes by and what you need to do to be able to overcome brain fog. So if you're someone struggling with anxiety, you are always overthinking. You are always figuring out things. You are always analyzing your situation. You're thinking about the physical symptoms that you have. You're thinking about your own situation. You're overthinking things. Things around you just become, something that used to be so small, it's now a mountain. This constant thinking, this constant figuring out things, this constant overanalyzing, the brain gets tired. The brain shuts down. Even our brain, it only has a limit of stress that it can take. There reaches a point where your brain now can't take stress anymore. Anxiety is caused by, overworrying about things, excess stress. Your brain reaches a point where it can't, it only has some level of stress threshold. So if you overwork it, if you are constantly engaging the mind, if you're constantly thinking, the brain shuts down. It goes into autopilot mode. That's now where you find that you are experiencing these foggy feelings. You can't think clearly, you can't make decisions, you can't stand a conversation, you can't focus. Those are a symptom of overthinking. Those are symptoms of overworrying. Those are symptoms of constantly engaging your mind. It is a symptom that when you don't understand what is happening, when you don't understand how anxiety works, you can think, oh, am I experiencing symptoms of dementia? And that one is going to make you to Google or try to seek reassurance. And dementia only affects people who are really old. You can't get dementia from anxiety. You're not struggling with dementia. Dementia affects people who are really old. So if you don't understand how anxiety works, those are the kind of intrusive thoughts that you're going to have. Is it this? Is it dementia? Is it this? And all that while it's just brain fog caused by your constant thinking. When people experience these feelings of brain fog, they again get stressed. Already with anxiety, you're stressing about the physical symptoms. You are having intrusive thoughts that you are trying to solve, you're trying to argue with, you're trying to, analyze those thoughts. You are struggling with panic attacks that you are trying to make sense of. You're struggling with feelings of unreality that you're trying to, what is this? What is this? And again, now you're struggling with brain fog. Most anxiety sufferers tend to worry again about the brain fog. They try to make sense of it. And this causes more stress on the brain, and therefore you are going to develop more brain fog from worrying over the brain fog. Are you getting this loop that you're stuck in? The thing here is your brain can't take the amount of stress that you're putting it through, the overthinking, the overanalyzing, the figuring out each and every symptom, and now you're having brain fog. Once I learned about what was happening, once I learned about how my unproductive patterns were making me have brain fog, I knew what was happening, and it was therefore easier to apply acceptance. I always say this: you must learn how anxiety works, because if you don't understand, you're going to do the opposite. And if you do the opposite, more suffering. It is easier to accept these symptoms. It is easier to allow these symptoms when you understand what is happening. Understanding is very crucial in this anxiety journey. The mistake that I find most anxiety sufferers do is they place brain fog a different entity from anxiety. Therefore, they are trying to they're trying to recover from brain fog on its own. Let me tell you something. Brain fog is something that will go away as you heal. Brain fog is something that will go away as you desensitize your nervous system. I've told you that brain fog is made intense. Brain fog is being brought about by you need to rest. You need to slow down. You need to slow down the overthinking, the constant engaging your mind, the figuring out things, the overanalyzing. Once you do that, then you'll start thinking more clearly. You start regaining your mental clarity. You'll start being able to make decisions. You'll start feel like, your mind will start getting more clearer. You will overcome the forgetfulness, the memory loss. Brain fog is a symptom of anxiety, and once it under the anxiety umbrella, as you overcome anxiety, as you practice the principles of anxiety recovery, as you focus on healing, brain fog will also go away. It is your thinking more and more and more that creates stress to your brain, creates stress to your nervous system. As a result, you're having symptoms of brain fog. Already, there is a point that I know most people will misinterpret. Already you have the brain fog. That one it had already occurred from your past overthinking, from your past engaging your mind, from your past, whatever you do that engages the mind, already you have the brain fog. But right now, what you should focus on is letting the brain fog be, because it is already there. You already caused it when you didn't know better. Letting the brain fog be there as you drop your second fears. What are the second fears? The second fears are the overworrying, constant overthinking, the unnecessarily engaging your mind. Let your mind rest. Slow down. If you let the current brain fog be there without adding on to it, and that's how you will be able to overcome brain fog. Otherwise, if you continue overthinking things, if you continue overthinking about your situation, that's what causes it. You think that you're busy doing something, you think that you're busy, trying to overcome brain fog, but that's what is perpetuating brain fog. That's what is making you have intense brain fog. The key is to let it be. You're feeling the brain fog, acknowledge it, let it be, but do not add on to it by unnecessarily engaging the mind. I hope you got my point. If you have watched this video up to this point, I would appreciate if you'll subscribe, if you would like, if you'll comment down below what kind of videos do you guys want, what are you struggling with, and you would like me to make a video on it. If you need more value, you'll need to subscribe to this channel, because how are you helping the channel? By subscribing. It's free. Kindly go and click that subscribe button. Thank you for watching, and let's meet on the next video.